marriage, and it's just Margaret. Listen, Joe is not leaving Margaret, and Margaret is
No,
not leaving Joe. So
no.
we're like watching things that we're just like, we know how this is going to end. I find the Jackie and Jen Fessler, that's the most interesting. I know Danielle Cabral has now left Teresa and Jen Aydin and gone to the other side with Melissa. I
Right.
find that less interesting. I find the Jackie and Margaret thing kind of the most interesting. The Louis and Teresa thing would be interesting to me if there was any truth to it. And there
Right.
just isn't. Like behind the scenes, you know that, I know that. If anyone is listening to this that doesn't know that, there's no problems between these two. It's just clickbait for a season. So
Right.
like, I don't know. I remember last season we were so invested about this.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that right now for this season. It's just, I don't feel it. I can't help it. It's
Well,
not in
because
me.
I think it's it's not in me. Well, I
It's
think
not
the
in
social
me.
media of it all, we see them posting all the live long day on the beach in Miami, in the Bahamas, and they're like half naked. Obviously, it looks like there's no trouble in paradise at all.
None.
So
None. And there's all, yeah, none. There's none. Really. I
it's
mean, they've had other issues and like there's other things, but there's really none. What do you think of this season of Vanderpump Rules?
it's also giving bore. I am bored. I feel like it is the same. I
You are,
mean,
because Sarah's really bored too.
yes. Well, I just thought there was going to be more revelations, but it's really just we're all just watching Tom over and over not take any ownership of what he did. He's just so reflective on other people. He's like, "Well, you didn't do this." And he was blaming who was he blaming? Not
Lala.
Lala, right? It was so in the most recent episode, he was just kept saying like, "Well, you hid your relationship." And she's like, "We're not talking about me. We're talking about you and how you lied about all of this. And like this is the current situation. My shit was years ago." So he's not taking ownership, and it's just episode after episode of everybody having issues with him. So I'm getting a little bored.
Sarah's bored too. A lot of these listeners are bored. I don't know why. I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm not as bored.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I'm going through this existential crisis. I don't know why Housewives bores me more as a whole, just
Yeah.
as a whole, than Vanderpump does. Maybe because really Housewives is the same damn thing, just different
Over.
cities and different franchises and different
Right.
nuances. I don't
Mhm.
know. I
Yeah.
loved Salt Lake last season, and I
Oh,
liked Beverly Hills a lot as well.
yeah. I mean, Salt Lake gave us the biggest of the biggest news ever. So I think a lot of people can agree, like, oh yeah, I was not bored in Salt Lake. Maybe the episodes leading up to the finale, but you definitely were not left needing anything more. You're like, okay, I got what I wanted. But with Vanderpump, I think people were just expecting so many bigger, like huge moments. And it's
Revelations.
right. And it's really just them doing yoga and Tom working through his shit. And we're not getting anywhere. I mean, I felt bad for Sheena when she was crying because they were doing this yoga exercise
Because a
together.
lot of people didn't. A lot of people are like, Sheena is so it's all
Mhm.
about her. They're mortified that she then is saying, I wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars, and just they think she's a shit friend to Ariana. Like a lot of people came for Sheena.
That moment when she was crying and she was like, I mean, I'm so happy for Ariana and all the opportunities she got, but it was a
You're
little
like,
like
it doesn't seem
jealousy.
like you're so happy.
Meanwhile, she's like fully bawling her eyes out, like, I really am happy, but like it could have been also been me. So there is a little bit of that. It's just, I don't know. The person that keeps me entertained is Schwartzy. Schwartzy is
You and Sarah, I swear, Sarah's like obsessed with Schwartzy.
You know what? Because I think Sarah and I share this, like, we love lost puppies. We're like, we have to,
Well, this is probably the biggest lost puppy you might ever find in your life.
I think,
I mean, this
I
is
think
a lost puppy for the taking, honey. I mean,
it's so true. We really do. Oh my God. He just is so confused about his direction. And even when Brock asked him about how did you and your ex meet and like how did you fall in love? He's like, I don't even know really how that happened. I mean, we were friends at first and like we didn't even like each other, and then it kind of just happened. I'm like, what? You
it was just like I think Schwartz, I think this is the appeal for certain women to Schwartz
Yeah.
of like, they can just get their claws into him. And if you want a project, here is your project. Because if you, he's like, duh, where am
Yeah.
I?
Like,
Like,
where am I going? What do I even like to do? Nobody knows.
the whole
Yeah.
apartment, it's like, man, you are 40 and you are living. And I don't mean like it's a small apartment because people
No,
have all different economic statuses. So I'm not knocking that. It's just like, this is how a college person's apartment looks. Literally.
it is. And I like how he treats all of his plants as his children. You know, he really takes a lot of detail for the plants because he's got really, I mean, those are his friends.
His
Again,
succulents.
a succulents, a lost puppy that we want to help find his way.
You and Sarah do. I'm not sure I am there at helping Schwartz find
Yeah.
his way,
Yeah.
but I guess some people are drawn to the lack of world knowledge.
Yeah, that could be it too. I mean, him trying to hit on that stewardess or the boat aide, he couldn't even lock
Like,
it
can
down,
I have
David.
your number? Like, I don't think he knows. I mean, like,
I know.
listen, I'm sure he gets laid plenty over here on the mean streets of Hollywood. But right, like basically you're saying like you and Katie just one day she just was still there after
Yeah.
you were friends and hooking up, and you're like, duh, I guess we're like in a relationship now. I don't even know if
Yeah.
Schwartz knows how to close the deal,
He
really.
clearly doesn't know how to close the deal. The man is clueless, and I think that's his appeal as well. I think Sarah and I don't know if you guys know too much about Sarah's relationship, but she definitely drives the boat. You know what I'm saying?
She
With
said that she made her husband go to couples therapy for like years before they got married. I'm like, what? I'm
Yep.
like, is this why I'm single? I'd be like, you want me to go to therapy like 2 months into this? Like, what the fuck are you
Right.
talking
This is a little too soon for you to know all of the skeletons in my closet. No, Sarah was like, chop, chop. We're going to therapy. We're going to work out our shit. And he's like, what shit do we have? She's like, we have a lot of shit. Yes. So that's exactly what Schwartzy needs is somebody to just take control, take the reins, and lead the pack because he doesn't
I
know.
think he needs a strong woman to lead him. Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
for sure.
I do. And
Sarah,
no knocking Sarah because here I am single and she's
no.
married. So I must, but I'm not sure about this going to counseling 2 months into it or whatever the hell it was. I might take a pass on that.
Right, right. No, Sarah and Dan, oh my God, we love them and they've come a long way and I love them to death. I love them.
They're busy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much longer. Like, I think this season too, it's like I think
Right.
Vanderpump is similar to Jersey. It's like we're gonna have a whole season of Melissa and Teresa not speaking. It's a transition season, and then we're gonna figure it out. Feel that way with Vanderpump Rules. Like, do
Hmm.
what you got to. We're probably gonna talk about Scandal this entire season. It's probably not gonna stop. I don't know. We can't have another season like this. Like, I'm not that bored,
No.
but people are. Like, we cannot have another season of like Tom begging for scraps
Right.
from Lala. He's like, I got to the airport and they were all sitting together. And instead of making me sit like 5 gates down, Sheena said, hey, this seat's open or whatever. It like
Right.
this guy
Right.
is happy with fucking scraps, little scraps.
He is. He is. He at this moment, I don't know. He's in an alternate universe. That's every time I see Tom explain anything, he just looks so detached. I don't think there's anything behind his eyes. I'm like, is he still with us? I'm not sure. So if we could have the whole, I don't even need to see Tom's glow up. He's already, I'm surpassed that. But
I think he loves it. I think he loves the tension. I think he loves just this is your role. You're playing the villain role. I just think that
yeah.
he is not upset about Scandal. I think he's thrilled that it like, and I don't even mean
Yeah.
financially. I just mean I think he's